Tonight, fears of food shortages as the world faces what could be the worst oil crisis in history. The PM striking a deal to keep the fuel flowing. Breaking news, an Air Canada passenger jet ripped apart on a New York runway. A man killed, toddlers among the injured in a horror crash in Sydney's west. High voltage crackdown in the Shire, riders and their wheels hauled off the streets. Michelle Bullock snaps up a luxury holiday home on the same day she hiked interest rates. And Manly skipper Tom Trbojević's message for fans ahead of Daly Cherry Evans' return to Brookvale on Thursday.
This is 9 News with Peter Overton.
Good evening. The fuel crisis gripping the globe is worse than the devastating oil shocks of the 1970s, with fears prices will surge even higher at the bowser, and there could be food shortages if the war in the Middle East escalates. The Prime Minister is tonight working on urgent deals with Singapore and other trade partners to secure supplies and keep the fuel flowing.
Foreign oil arriving to Australian soil. A long journey from the Middle East to Sydney ending today. We'll need more.
We're having a series of meetings as well with our international partners, making sure that we can secure supply.
Australia and Singapore agreeing to accelerate the flow of gas and oil between the two countries, with extra shipments from Canada and the United States promised. Still tonight, the government and business groups are promoting working from home or public transport as a way of easing petrol pressures.
Now, Chris Bowen is saying it's okay, everyone can work from home. It just simply doesn't work that way.
This is a time where we really do need to adopt a Team Australia moment.
We've got many stations with no petrol, zero. That's what we've got, big zero.
In Canberra, the president of the International Energy Agency warned the current crisis is twice that of the 1970s, but this time Australia has solar on its side.
10 years ago, solar was a romantic story, but now it is a business.
Which means we are less exposed to gas prices, and that is in no small part due to home batteries, Mr Speaker.
Fresh food may be the next frontier.
When you go to the supermarket shelves, you're either going to notice that your favourite products may not be there. There might be temporary stock outages.
Coles and Woolworths say there's been no disruption to availability. Some prices have changed. The National Food Council meeting in Canberra today.
And we know that our food system does not operate in isolation and it's not immune to those external challenges that we're seeing.
Anything that needs cold chain transport, typically you're thinking of fresh produce, then you're thinking of meat, seafood, and then you've got to go to your dairies.
The states are having their own conversation about food and fuel, but so far there is no appetite to force people to work from home.
We've seen work from home mandates during the course of COVID, and it didn't end well for a lot of people.
We do know and we do understand that Australians are feeling the pressure around the kitchen table and especially at the petrol bowser.
Charles Croucher, 9 News.
Charles joins me live from Canberra. Charles, good evening. As fuel goes up, high-end European cars and luxury goods are set for a price drop.
They are, Pete. There is at last some good news on the foreign front. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has touched down in Australia tonight and is set to sign a long-awaited free trade agreement with Australia tomorrow. It promises to bring down the price of some European goods, that includes cars, and will serve up an extra $500 million potential customers for Sydney and New South Wales producers in the long run. Short term though, Pete, the government will look for more energy deals, potentially leveraging our gas for fuel as the war drags into a fourth week.
Charles, thank you. 4 weeks since the Iran war started, and there's now concern fuel prices are about to skyrocket. Issues with supply are settling, but it's the price at the bowser that has the NRMA suggesting a cheaper alternative.
Despite the big sell as the cheaper alternative,
he's filling up on premium. He should be using E10. Could save up for a new sound system.
E10 for so long has been the unloved unleaded at the bowser. Now the NRMA says if it's suitable for your car, you should use it.
10% of every litre of E10 you put in your car is ethanol that's produced here in Australia and not oil or petrol imported from overseas.
As the cost of diesel hovers around $3 a litre, there's concern in the next few weeks it could climb closer to $4 a litre.
I don't want to think about what it would take to get to $4 a litre. Our economy runs on diesel, and so therefore we are also going to see the effects inevitably in the supermarket aisles and pretty much everywhere else.
Out of 2,500 service stations in the state, just 37 are out of fuel. As for talk of mandating people work from home to save fuel supplies, Premier Chris Minns says most New South Wales public servants, police, nurses and teachers, need to be at the coalface. As for everyone else, it could be a possibility in weeks to come.
We will, of course, take emergency measures if required.
This week, the NRMA will release figures showing how many drivers have been ditching their cars to use public transport. Any measure is being welcomed to preserve our fuel reserves. Mark Burrows, 9 News.
Iran and America are tonight trading new ominous threats after Donald Trump warned he would take out the regime's power plants if it doesn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. Iran's military declaring it's ready to completely close the critical shipping lane.
A motorcade to the Gulf in green as the clock ticks down on Donald Trump's deadline.
Sometimes you have to escalate to de-escalate.
Tehran hasn't taken kindly to the US president's ultimatum, the regime threatening to intensify strikes and indefinitely close the crucial waterway if America makes good on its promise to obliterate Iranian power plants.
They're stopping a maritime international route, energy route, and trying to blackmail the entire world.
The president is not messing around. He stands, unlike his predecessors, he stands by his red lines.
Iran's foreign minister hitting back. No Iranian will be swayed by more threats. Try respect.
With Iran's chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz, America's search for a solution is growing increasingly desperate.
We are facing a decision point for the president because Israel would follow the president's decision.
Israel and the United States are working together for the entire world. And it's time to see the leaders of the rest of the countries join up.
22 countries, including Australia, will, said the NATO chief today. Mark Rutte talking down the US president's previous comments, which labelled the nations cowards.
And I understand the president's frustration that it takes some time. But again, I also ask for some understanding.
The conflict is now entering its 24th day and the toll is growing. At least 2,000 people have been killed, most in Iran, and more than 1 million have been displaced, many of those in Lebanon. And there, Israeli forces have expanded strikes in the country's south, targeting bridges. Action, the IDF says, is against the Iran-backed Hezbollah group. The Lebanese president says it's a potential precursor to a ground invasion. In Washington, D.C., Lauren Tomazi, 9 News.
The front of an Air Canada passenger jet has been all but ripped off after a collision with a ground vehicle as it landed in New York. Tonight, as the emergency unfolds at LaGuardia, multiple people are believed to be injured.
Close to midnight and horror on a wet runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport. An Air Canada jet, its cockpit ripped off after a collision moments after it landed. It's believed the aircraft and a Port Authority vehicle came together.
Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicle's there responding to you now.
First reports suggest at least 2 people have been seriously injured. It's unclear whether they were in the cockpit of the plane or on board the truck. Video posted to social media shows passengers around the aircraft. A witness explains what happened as people tried to evacuate.
It was on the ground on the nose. After deplaning, it just lifted in the air.
The plane, with at least 80 on board, had just arrived from Montreal.
The aircraft would have been cleared to land. It doesn't appear to be bad weather, and it'll go down to human factors.
The US Federal Aviation Administration has issued a ground stop for all planes at the airport. Damien Ryan, 9 News.
1 man is dead and 5 people, including 2 children, are in hospital tonight with serious injuries after a high-speed collision in Sydney's west. Police are investigating the actions of the driver and whether seatbelts were being worn.
A car horn, the rev of an engine and screeching tyres. and the impact was fatal and too confronting to show.
Heard the bang and I come running around and there was all smoke and that coming from the car.
It was 5:20 yesterday afternoon on Stewart Road at Darrick when the Outlander came racing down before slamming through a fence and into a tree. Inside, 6 people, a female driver, 3 men and 2 toddlers.
When I opened the front door, all the adults that were in the car were in the front seat. It was a mess. It was mangled everywhere.
Michael Radcliffe lives next door and was one of several neighbours who ran to help. His first instinct, to save the children.
He was just screaming the whole time and I think he had glass in his eye because he was covered in glass when I put him out the front seat.
One man was responsive, another had to be ejected, but the third died on impact.
I was just looking at him and, he was just long gone, there wasn't anything that could have been done to help him.
5 survivors, all critical, taken to hospital where they remain tonight. Among them, the female driver who's also being questioned by police. It's alleged that of the 6 people inside that vehicle, only one of the toddlers was found to be wearing a seatbelt. Another crucial element in this police investigation, the speed at which that driver was going at in the moments before the crash. Another question, how 6 people fit in a 5-seater. And with Easter around the corner, a fresh warning to take extra care on our roads.
Seatbelts are there to save your lives. We need people to use them.
Massilia Eiley, 9 News.
We have breaking news for you. There are fears for one person after another Optus 000 outage. Liz Daniels is with me in the studio. Liz, what can you tell us?
Well, Peter, a 20-minute outage at 8 o'clock this morning impacting 145,000 customers across the country, including 4 000 calls. The telco has been able to make contact with 3 of those emergency callers, but police have been brought in to carry out a welfare check on the 4th when they couldn't be reached. The 3 people died when Optus suffered a 000 failure in September last year. That triggered an independent investigation and recommendations for major improvements. Tonight, Peter, the lines have been reconnected and the company has apologised.
Liz, thank you. Royal Prince Alfred Hospital was warned about the risk of mould in the transplant ward a month before a fungal outbreak killed 2 patients. A nurse raised the alarm in an email back in September. New South Wales Health says crews assessed the situation on the same day, but clinicians decided it was safe for patients to remain in the ward until remedial works had been carried out. The crackdown on e-bikes is gaining speed. Dozens of riders fined and bikes confiscated in a police blitz in the Shire. It's expected new rules and regulations will soon ramp up the pressure in an all-out bid to make our roads and footpaths safer.
Transporting prisoners, now e-bikes. Police vans helping officers deal with the latest scourge on our roads and footpaths. For 2 days last week, Operation E-Voltage zeroed in on e-bike riders in the Sutherland Shire. Officers spoke to more than 300 e-bike and scooter users. 170 fines were issued and 99 cautions. Offences include no helmets and illegally modified bikes. 5 riders tested positive to drugs, 1 ended up in handcuffs and 5 bikes were confiscated.
Some of the behaviour we're seeing is just silly, it's dangerous, we need it to stop.
The Pedestrian Council has welcomed this latest crackdown but insists there needs to be new laws and legislation rolled out to have any real impact against what has become a dangerous and unregulated trend. The Queensland Government is set to ban e-bikes for children under 16. Footpath speed limits and bikes that go faster than 25 kilometres per hour would have to be registered and insured.
Insurance is critical to this. I mean, most of these e-riders now, they ride off when they hit someone.
Police have promised there'll be more operations and hopefully backed with tougher rules and regulations.
This technology has outpaced some of our legislation, so we need to, pivot quickly.
Damien Ryan, 9 News.
Long promised cost of living relief for renters is tonight a step closer as the state government tests the nation's first portable bond scheme. It's designed to prevent renters from forking out thousands for a new deposit while their old one is still being held. But it's been a complicated system to set up.
In a landlord's market tonight, a move to help movers.
When they move, the bond moves with them.
The government is testing tech to allow renters the option to transfer their bond from their current rental property to their new one, rather than forking out for both at once. A $25 admin fee will be charged, and if needed, tenants top up the difference.
Freeing them up and reducing that financial stress.
Savings is a luxury. This reform increases options and reduces barriers.
And if there's property damage and the security deposit has already been transferred, landlords will invoice the government. The government then chases the occupant at fault.
Obviously, that's a more complicated process than taking it straight out of the bond held by a real estate agent. We've just got to make sure it works.
Those complexities have delayed this scheme, which was promised 3 years ago and is only now ready to test. Still no date on when it'll be ready to use.
Not ready for the renters of New South Wales, not available to support them in a rental and cost of living crisis.
While the need for relief is recognised.
More people are renting, and they're renting for longer.
We believe a sea change is coming.
Liz Daniels, 9 News.
ABC staff are set to walk off the job for the first time in 2 decades. 60% of employees voted against the offer of a 10% pay rise over 3 years and a $1,000 signing bonus. The 24-hour strike will begin at 11 a.m. Wednesday and could disrupt some live radio and television programs. New AI-powered cameras and thermal imaging drones are helping the Rural Fire Service detect fires earlier and respond to them faster. In the past year, high-definition cameras have detected nearly 4,000 fires, while drones are being rapidly deployed to give crews on the ground valuable real-time information on fire conditions. It is time now for our first check of the day's weather. Good evening, Belinda.
Hi, Pete. The weather certainly had us guessing today. Sunny 1 minute, showers the next. The heaviest falls in our west. Penrith receiving the highest rainfall with 19 millimetres since 9 a.m, 16 in Hornsby and 13 for Campbelltown. A mostly fine day for the city, so far only recording 0.2 of a millimetre. Nothing on the radar right now, but the Bureau is expecting another shower or two this evening. The city reaching a top of 27.4 today, which is still a few degrees above the March average. A tad cooler in our west. Penrith stopping at 26.6, which is slightly below average. And it's going to be a lot colder than that by the end of the week. I'll have the latest forecast for you after sport, Pete.
Belinda, thank you. In the news ahead, see you in court. Kyle's $100 million contract battle takes a turn. Crashes, flooding, peak hour chaos. The $85 million mission to fix one of Sydney's worst stretches of road. A sinister move in the middle of the night. Ambulances set aflame. Andrew breaks cover for the first time since his arrest and buried in the blink of an eye. A new twist tonight in the Kyle and Jackie O saga, with Kyle Sandilands alleging ARN encouraged the aggressive tone that led to his contract being terminated. Nine's Madison Scott joins me live. Maddie, we've seen new federal court documents.
Pete, 9 newspapers have obtained fresh details of Kyle Sandilands' court battle. Now, his lawyers are arguing ARN expressly desired the character that he played for more than 2 decades. Court papers saying the show's material was deliberately provocative and that Mr. Sandilands generally performed the role of the dominant and abrasive personality who was deliberately outrageous and often offensive, while Miss Henderson played a moderating role as a warmer and more emotionally attuned character. Now, ARN has confirmed tonight that it will be disputing the claims.
Maddie, thank you. Explosions have rung out in London after 4 ambulances were set on fire. Police have labelled the attack against a Jewish volunteer service as an anti-Semitic hate crime.
Walking calmly into the sight of CCTV, 3 hooded figures. And it doesn't take long for their intentions to become clear as flames start to leap from behind an ambulance. Nearby residents filming the flames as they take hold and spread. Explosions ringing out. The apparent target, a Jewish volunteer rescue organisation. Hatzolah Northwest confirming 4 of its ambulances were set alight. saying there are concerns that this is a direct attack on the Jewish community. The incident occurring in the neighbourhood of Golders Green, located in London's north, the area known for its large Jewish community. The Metropolitan Police now hunting the 3 suspects and treating the incident as an anti-Semitic hate crime, adding, "We will be engaging with faith leaders and carrying out additional patrols." Shelley Doyle, 9 News.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been seen for the first time since his arrest. The former prince was photographed walking his dogs near his new home, Marsh Farm, on the King's Sandringham estate. The 66-year-old was taken into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office on his birthday last month. A picturesque drive along a coastal road in Turkey suddenly goes black. A car was smashed by falling debris in the country's south after a landslide dislodged rocks from a cliff face. The driver is being treated for minor injuries. Music star Chapel Roan says she doesn't hate children, following allegations she made the daughter of actor Jude Law cry. The claims were made by the 11-year-old stepfather, Italian soccer player Jorginho, who said Roan's security team was extremely aggressive after she smiled at the singer.
I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
Roan said the security guards are not a normal part of her team. Michelle Bullock's property splash, snapping up a multi-million-dollar holiday home on the same day she hiked interest rates. NRL great Wendell Saylor faces court over a clash with police. Also coming up, the dog squad rounds up a gang of car thieves after a wild pursuit. Hawaii in the grip of a 20-year flood disaster. And no one is spared as the Brits do Saturday Night Live. An alleged car thief has been given a painful lesson, taken down by a police dog while trying to run from officers. The teenager was one of 3 arrested following the wild chase across Melbourne's southeast.
Surrounded and told to surrender. A boy pulled to the ground by a police dog, unleashed and ready to bite, its tail wagging as it locked on to the suspected thief.
All I heard was, "Stop running, get to the ground."
He was one of 3 16 and 17-year-olds arrested on this suburban street at 2:30 this morning, an hour after an accused gang struck closer to the city. A couple barricaded themselves in their bedroom as the intruders spent almost 10 minutes inside, allegedly stealing keys but failing to keep the dog quiet.
You just keep thinking what I need to do, but you cannot find a solution because you are not prepared for anything and you are in your bedroom.
Police say the stolen Audi was clocked travelling up to 190 kilometres an hour on the Monash freeway until it lost a wheel. The suspects running down streets and hiding under trampolines, but their time was up.
Their presence and their numbers was amazing. The dog squad, I think they had 2 or 3 sets of dog squad up the street today.
The youngest boy was taken to Dandenong Hospital to be treated for his dog bite wound. Residents say they hope the violent arrest was a wake-up call amid concerns the justice system isn't tough enough.
The police try, but, they're bashing their heads against a brick wall.
Jack Ward, 9 News.
Wendell Saylor is hoping he can avoid punishment over incidents on 2 drunken nights out in the city and in Wollongong on mental health grounds. The former League and Union star appeared in court today, indicating he was seeking to have 3 charges dismissed. The magistrate will decide the case on Friday. It's a road notorious for flooding and accidents. Now work to fix the Wakehurst Parkway is set to start a little later this year. The $85 million project will see parts of the Northern Beaches Road widened and improvements made to dangerous intersections. The upgrade will also include measures to reduce flooding between Dreadnought Road and Oxford Falls Road. Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock has revealed she and her husband purchased their 3rd investment property on the same day interest rates were hiked in February. Nine's finance editor Chris Kohler has more.
The house in Yamba, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with a wine room, was bought on February 3 for $2.05 million. And on February 4, Australia's cash rate was lifted. Settlement happened 6 weeks later, Michelle Bullock receiving the keys on March 17. And on March 18, the cash rate was lifted again. So while the RBA governor was in the boardroom discussing both of this year's cash rate rises, her own property portfolio was growing, presumably with at least a bit more mortgage debt. The purchase was disclosed to the public records last week and does not break any rules. But amid a housing and cost of living crisis, many Australians are learning that the governor and her husband now have 3 investment properties: Yamba, Chiswick and Drummoyne, along with a primary residence also in Sydney, and that the governor earned $1.26 million last financial year.
Thank you, Chris. Thousands of homes have been evacuated as Hawaii faces its worst flooding in 2 decades. Parts of the state have been lashed with up to 1,300 millimetres of rain in the past 10 days. Residents on the island of Oahu were told to leave now, with officials declaring a dam failure imminent. Comedy show Saturday Night Live has debuted in the UK, mocking all things British, from the royal family to the Beckhams. The spin-off from the long-running American program even grabbed the US president's attention.
Live from London! Saturday Night Live at its British best.
So, why do a UK version of SNL? Well, like so many large-scale American operations these days, no one really knows why.
Its first ever host, an American.
If this is SNL UK, then why are you the first host?
How do I put this politely? None of you would do it?
Sir Keir Starmer's dealings with Donald Trump open slather.
Oh, golly. Well, what if Donald shouts at me? What do I say, Lammy? Hello? Ah! I know how badly you want to start World War III, and that's great. You should absolutely do that. But we can't be a part of it.
The US president sharing the sketch on his Truth Social page. On the Iran war...
How many? 2, but 1's dead now.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor mocked too.
So, if you're watching, Andrew, hello! You're not going to like this next bit.
The former prince, the butt of jokes too rude to broadcast on 9 News. There was an impersonation of Princess Diana.
Diana, Princess of Wales.
And Britain's most famous natural historian.
Hello, I'm David Attenborough. And it can't be long now.
Ladies and gentlemen, SNL UK has arrived. In London, Hannah Sinclair, 9 News.
Hailstorms, bushfires, flash flooding, Sydney cops it all. Coming up, the suburbs hardest hit and why your home insurance premium keeps rising. Mayhem on the M1, the driver going the wrong way and fast. Bet Bondi is psyched to take your breath away. Those stories after sport with James. And what reception can Daly Cherry Evans expect when he returns to Brookie on Thursday?
Evening to you, Pete. You wouldn't imagine it'll be all that friendly, but former teammate Tom Trbojevic had a message for fans today. He's also thrown his support behind brother Jake amid calls for him to retire. Dragon Ryan Couchman sent straight to the judiciary for that tackle, which ended the season of heel Jermaine Hopgood. Plus, the injury verdict is in on West Tigers stars Jerome Luai and Adam Dewey.
And another day of showers for Sydney, so when will our wet spell end? I'll have the forecast for you soon.
The Aussie backyard's growing an income.
We're renting from my parents. Great solution for us, great solution for them.
A boom in renovation loans.
We're expecting Granny Flat construction to take off this year.
Why it could be the easiest investment property you ever buy. 9 News, your news, tomorrow at 6.
Tom Trbojevic is urging Seagulls fans to cheer rather than boo Daly Cherry Evans when he returns to Brookvale Oval on Thursday night. Trbojevic is also calling for critics to back off his brother Jake amid talk he should retire.
There's no more widely loved player in the game than Jake Trbojevic, but he's fighting father time, and that usually goes one way.
I really think it's unfair that he is coming under criticism. I think he's been, the way he's gone after these first 2 weeks, considering he's coming off a head injury last year, has been great. So I think he'll only get better.
Jake has previously talked about his struggles with anxiety.
Is he coping okay?
I know Jake is a different character, and he does get quite worked up. But look, I think he's tough enough to know that I guess journalists, analysts are entitled to their own opinion, and at the end of the day, what really matters is how you go up there and perform.
Jake has an option to trigger a new deal for next year in the next few weeks.
Do you want to see him play on?
Oh, if he wants to keep playing and he's energised and want to keep playing and want to keep getting better as a footy player, then yeah, I do. I love playing with him. He's a great part of this team, and he's a real leader around this club.
And the health is probably a big reason as well. Like that's got to play a part in his decision. But he seems okay, yeah.
Well, I think, like I said before, the first 2 weeks has been really good, the way he's gone after it.
The club's former leader returns as a Rooster this week.
How do you want the fans to respond to him? Boo him, cheer him? What do you want?
Oh, I think they should cheer him. What he's done for this club, and he's played 350 odd games for us, and he's been one of our all-time greats. So look, I'm not going to tell the fans what to do, but I'd like to think they're going to cheer him.
So what are you going to do to Daly, mate?
What am I going to do, Daly? What have I done to anyone, really?
So that's a fair point.
I think he'd be running around scared of me this week, you think, or something? But no, look, I've played Chaz before, and it's going to be no different. When we play him this week, we're out there to get a job done.
Danny Weidler, 9 News.
Dragon Ryan Couchman has been referred straight to the NRL judiciary for the tackle that's left Eel Jermaine Hopgood with a torn ACL. The injury news is slightly better for the West Tigers. Adam Dewey cleared, but halfback Jerome Luai has been grounded for the next month.
2 first-choice playmakers in pain and struggling to walk.
Obviously, it's not ideal, considering how much they do for us, obviously, and for the team.
After 2 anxious days of waiting, there is some relief for the Tigers. Superstar halfback Jerome Luai has been sidelined for a month with a knee injury, but 5'8" Adam Dewey has been cleared of any serious hamstring damage. The Tigers confident that whoever fills Luai's shoes is up to the task.
Throughout different stages throughout the year, you're going to have injuries and setbacks and whatnot, and it's just the way that the squad copes with that. And we've built over the pre-season to make sure that whoever steps in, whatever position, they're going to do their job.
The Eels' worst fears have been confirmed. Forward Jermaine Hopgood out for the season with a torn ACL. Dragon Ryan Couchman, now facing one of the more nervous nights of his young career, referred straight to the judiciary for a hip drop tackle. That's left the Eels reeling ahead of their Battle of the West against a red-hot Panthers outfit.
You do also create a certain style of how you play, an identity throughout the season, so it is important at the start of the year to kind of build that.
Unbeaten and in frightening form, Cleary won't let his men get ahead of themselves this early in the season.
I don't want to remember the first few games, so we've been through sort of this before. Just understand we're still trying to get better each week, and understanding that our rivals will all get better as the season goes on.
The Bulldogs' team-first mentality has sunk in for Lachlan Galvin, teammates praising the young halfback who spent 2 nights in hospital with an infection before their narrow win over Canberra.
He must not have been showering or something. So no, it's gritty from him to come out of hospital and come back and play like he did. That's what we pride ourselves on, as being a gritty team. So I think that was good what he did, and now let's just keep building from there.
Nicole Dunn, 9 News.
Isaiah Iongi has been a standout for Parramatta this season, but the young fullback has been hit with a breach notice by the NRL. The 22-year-old is accused of bringing the game into disrepute after these photos of him appeared on social media last month. Iongi has 5 days to respond. The GWS Giants will focus on getting off to a faster start when they face Collingwood this Friday night. A sluggish first half proving costly in their 4-point loss to St Kilda.
Unfortunately, we left our run too late, and that's what happens. You can't give good sides, 6-goal lead at half time. So we need to rectify that, this weekend against Collingwood.
The Giants have slipped to 13th on the ladder after back-to-back defeats. A packed summer of cricket will begin in August this year. Yep, winter with 2 tests against Bangladesh in Darwin and Mackay. New Zealand will tour in the traditional December through to January slot and will play 4 tests against Australia, after which the Aussies will depart for a tour of India. Alex Carey says the workload will be manageable.
It excites me to play that much cricket. It is our job. Test cricket for me is still, the pinnacle. I love playing it. I love playing against all countries as well, so that sounds pretty exciting.
The Aussie team returns from India for the 150th anniversary test against England at the MCG in March. The first Socceroos have arrived in Sydney ahead of the team's final matches in Australia before the upcoming World Cup. Experienced midfielder Jackson Irvine was intentionally left in Europe as he continues to build himself back from a foot injury.
I'm sure Jacko will make it. I know Jacko and we've played together for many years and I know the mindset he's got. So I'm planning, or I'm wishing for him to be at the World Cup.
Players who arrived early got the first taste of the new kit that the team will be wearing during this year's World Cup. Manchester City has won the English League Cup title with a 2-0 win in the final against Arsenal. Nico O'Reilly finding the back of the net twice in the space of 4 minutes to seal the victory. Meantime, Tottenham's bid to avoid relegation from the Premier League took another blow this morning. Spurs beaten 3-0 by fellow battlers Nottingham Forest and dropping to 17th on the table, just one place above the drop zone. And 2 days after breaking Damien Oliver's Group 1 riding record, jockey James McDonald was on the red carpet today for the premiere of the documentary about his career. But McDonald says the real star of the racing show at the moment is undefeated mare Autumn Glow.
She's phenomenal. She's a supermodel and she's got killer looks, killer demeanour, and she knows she's spectacular.
Autumn Glow will head to the championships at Randwick and run in either the Doncaster or Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Pete, that's it for now. See you for 100% footy. Another big show coming.
Good on you, James. Thank you. Gold loses its lustre. Chris Kohler with all the details next. The weather extremes hitting our suburbs and your home insurance premium. And a welcome surprise weeks before the whale season kicks off. Drivers have been put at serious risk on the M1. This hatchback speeding on the wrong side of the road earlier today. Police launching a dramatic pursuit, chasing down the car near Kempsey on the mid-north coast. The 31-year-old driver tried to run away from the scene but was arrested. It's alleged he was wanted on an outstanding warrant. From flash flooding to destructive hailstorms and devastating bushfires, Australians are becoming used to wild weather all year round, and it's taking its toll. NRMA Insurance says the weather accounts for more than half of all home claims.
In a country of extremes, you can never be too prepared. In the past 5 years, NRMA Insurance received almost 300,000 wild weather claims. That's 1 every 9 minutes, with storms and hail causing the most damage. The suburb battered the most in Sydney, Castle Hill, followed by Balcombe Hills, Blacktown, Quakers Hill and Kellyville. Inside the insurer's command centre in Sydney, satellite mapping technology allows NRMA to calculate risk and work out which homeowners need the greatest response. This map shows Bundaberg before and after the recent floods.
The darker the blue, the more deeper the inundation. And we actually get all of the data behind the scenes to identify how many millimetres of water is sitting actually above the ground at that particular point in time.
The technology used to pinpoint damage during the recent Victoria bushfires.
That helps us understand what number of builders, what number of assessors, what equipment we need to mobilise quickly.
And tracking Cyclone Narelle in far north Queensland. NRMA says the tool, which has replaced drones, is not used to set premiums.
They operate in all weather. They can see through fog and rain and clouds.
Along with the increase in wild weather, home insurance costs are soaring. Average premiums up 51% in the past 5 years.
Over that same period of time, the cost of building supplies has gone up more than 40%. The cost of reinsurance has gone up more than 20 to 30%. Unfortunately, insurance premiums are not immune to inflation.
The Insurance Council taking aim at government taxes, which form part of your premium.
We need to have tax reform. People who do the right thing and take out insurance should not be paying stamp duty year on year, as well as emergency service levies.
Despite last summer being the wettest in almost a decade, it was the quietest when it came to wild weather claims in 10 years.
It comes down to the location of the severe weather event, so the major capital cities avoided the worst impacts.
And we're in for an autumn of extremes.
We do expect wetter than normal conditions across the northern parts, whereas in the southern parts, warmer and drier conditions will lead to elevated bushfire conditions.
Sophie Walsh, 9 News.
Protesters have launched fireworks and petrol bombs at the office of the Albanian Prime Minister amid corruption allegations. Riot police used water cannon on crowds as violence erupted on the streets of the capital, with demonstrators demanding the resignation of the government. The US President has ordered ICE agents to US airports as a fight over Homeland Security funding continues. The stoush has meant long queues and understaffing at airports across the country, with hundreds of thousands of staff working without pay. US Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie and her siblings say they are desperately asking the community for renewed attention in the search for their missing mum, Nancy. The family is asking locals in Arizona to search through any camera footage or text messages that may hold significance. It's now been 7 weeks since the 84-year-old was last seen alive. Another chaotic session on global markets as Donald Trump's ultimatum causes anxiety for investors. Here's our finance editor, Chris Kohler.
3 weeks ago, the ASX was sitting at an all-time high. But what a difference a war can make, especially one that threatens oil supply. Today, the ASX gave up another 62 points, now down more than 9% from that record high. And a 10% fall would make it a technical correction, so investors will be keeping an eye out for that this week. The good news is resilience was clearly visible today. The opening fall halved throughout the day as investors bought back into blue chip stocks. The price of gold is also in focus. Last week will go down as the worst for gold since 1983. That price had rocketed in the last year and early this year, but now it's losing its footing as bond yields rise. Finally, the Australian dollar is sitting below 70 US cents, is also buying 60 euro cents and 52 British pence.
Thank you, Chris. Let's look at the price of unleaded petrol across Sydney tonight. The average sitting at $2.40 a litre. You can find it cheaper at Burwood, located on Parramatta Road. Around the clock public transport could be the way of the future in Sydney. The state government is considering the move after a successful trial on Mardi Gras weekend, which saw a 41% increase in passengers on the metro. It's hoped the change would boost the nighttime economy. Whale watchers got an early treat today, with one spotted breaching off Bondi around 11 this morning. Humpback whales normally start migrating north for their breeding season in May, making this one rather early. More than 40,000 whales are expected to take to the Humpback Highway between May and November this year. Coming up in our news, Belinda with the weather.
Thank you, Pete. There's nothing on the radar right now, but the Bureau says we could still get another shower or two tonight. It is 23 degrees in our west, but feels more like 26 thanks to the muggy conditions. The humidity is sitting at 86% in Penrith. More showers forecast tomorrow. I'll have all the details after the break. Welcome back. Another day of unsettled weather for Sydney. Isolated showers throughout the day, so a wet start to the working week for some suburbs, but not others. Our west receiving the heaviest downpours, up to 19 millimetres recorded in Penrith, but nothing at the airport, and only 0.2 of a millimetre for the city. Most suburbs reaching a top of 27 today, which is still a few degrees warmer than average for the city. A light sea breeze blowing in from lunchtime. Those showers stretching up the coast. A wet day for the far north coast, with widespread falls of 5 to 15 millimetres. Numinbah in the Tweed Shire getting the biggest soaking with 30 millimetres. A warm and mostly sunny day for inland parts. Griffith and Broken Hill hitting 32, 34 for Burke, Newcastle and Wollongong about 10 degrees cooler, hitting 24. Tomorrow won't be as wet as today, conditions easing thanks to a broad high pressure system stretching across New South Wales, but there'll still be some coastal showers due to those onshore winds. Brisbane also expecting a shower or two with a top of 29. A fine day ahead for Canberra, partly cloudy and 26. Showers for Melbourne too, also hitting 29. And Adelaide and Perth still basking in beautiful sunshine. Back home in the Bureau is forecasting isolated showers along the coast. Once again, northeastern New South Wales probably the wettest, with more widespread showers. Possible afternoon thunderstorms about the Snowy Ranges extending to the far south coast. And another warm and mostly sunny day west of the Divide. Dubbo and Wagga Wagga hitting 30 degrees. On to Sydney, partly cloudy skies and a medium chance of showers, mostly most likely in the morning and early afternoon. Less than 2 millimetres forecast for the city and just a possible shower in our outer west. Top temperatures will be much like today. Most suburbs heading for 27 or 28. A few degrees cooler in Cronulla and Terry Hills though. Overnight low still a little warmer than average, down to 17 or 18 in our west and 20 for the city. Looking ahead to the rest of the week and the fine weather returning on Wednesday. Mostly sunny and 27 in the city, but it won't last for long. Showers on Thursday with a storm developing, 3 to 15 millimetres forecast, then a cool end to the week, a top of just 21 on Friday, thanks to some fresh west to southwesterly winds. Over the weekend, there's a chance of some showers in the city, but our west should be fine. That cooler weather sticking around though, down to 20 on Friday, then 23 on Saturday and 25 on Sunday. So a cool weekend ahead for the last weekend of March, Pete.
Belinda, thank you. Ali is next with a current affair. That is 9 News for this Monday. I'm Peter Overton. I hope you have a good evening. From all of us, good night.